Hey Scorpio, Ali from Indigo Ascension. Welcome to your weekly quick read for the week beginning Monday the 27th. We have Mercury going retrograde in Libra this week. I wanted to focus on this concept of retrogrades getting a bad name out there. Now, if you've been following my channel for quite some time, you might be aware that I'm quite the advocate of retrogrades. Why? Because they force us to stop. Okay, so if retrograde energy is really bringing the past back, if it's causing hiccups, and let me just use Mercury retrograde as an example. You know, Mercury rules all things communications. It rules all things of the mind. And if it's bringing back the past in some way and it's making me overlook where I have come from, you know, to check that I've dotted my I's and crossed my T's, and I've got to be conscious of how I'm communicating so to save confusion, then perhaps there's a gift in that. And certainly there's got to be something to it because it happens 3 or 4 times a year. We need to sort of get used to this idea of Mercury going in retrograde. And if I look at it in a whole new way, if it's causing me to truly take a look back, then perhaps that is the pathway so that I can really look at my now and become conscious and fully aware in the moment. And if I want transformation, if I want change, then maybe I need to take that time to really look at everything that has shaped my mind, my beliefs and my perceptions that has got me to where I am today. And if I want something different, then I must do something different. Yeah, and perhaps all great realities and possibilities start in here with a thought. So it is from our perceptions we can look at our reality in a whole new way, you know. So that is perhaps a gift of Mercury retrograde. The other gift this week is a grand trine in air signs. We've got the moon in Gemini, we've got the sun and Mars in Libra, and we also have obviously Saturn in Aquarius, which is a much bigger story. It spans about 3 years, but for you uniquely, Scorpio, the moon is lighting up 8th house energy for you. The sun and Mars are really activating 12th house energy for you. Now, I just want to focus on those two for a minute. 8th house is all about deep transformations, okay? All things taboo. 12th house energies is all about our subconscious, okay? It is about our relationship with that other part of ourself. Regardless of what your relationship is with intuition and self-trust, you know, this is about really looking at the shadow aspects of self, the parts of self we keep or that are suppressed. Hence, we get messages from our subconscious through dream state, and, you know, being consciously aware of things that habitually shape us and transform us without our knowing, because we've got these hidden fears or whatever the case may be. There's a gift under this moon, you know, because you guys are activating 8th house energies. It is about transformation. So for many of you Scorpios, true transformation can happen in the realms of this area of the 12th house, which is a highly misunderstood house. You know, it does rule mental health. It does rule our own undoing. But becoming aware of hidden aspects of self can be an amazing gift, so we can truly see ourselves in a whole new way, thus experiencing transformation. The other house that is highlighting for you guys, just based on this trine, is Saturn being in Aquarius is actually activating 4th house stuff for you guys. It takes us back to the mother. It takes us back to maternal energy. 4th house is all about home and hearth and what makes us feel at home, how I was grown in a home and how that has ultimately shaped me. But this is a much bigger story with Saturn being in Aquarius for 3 years. That's, you know, there's new ways for many Scorpios to look at this concept of nurture, the role of mother, this idea and ideology behind what maternal means for you, this idea of nurture and how we nurture self. And have I nurtured my intuition? How have I nurtured self through deep transformations? Okay, so there's a lot of things coming up, and maybe your dreams are key, because I think you guys have been activating some similar placements. Okay, but with the sun and Mars, all right, clarity, drive. There's a powerful connection to the subconscious this week that spans at least 6 weeks, thanks to the sun transit with Libra with the sun in Libra and Mars being in Libra too. Okay, there's a 6-week portal that you guys are afforded, this strong clarity and strong connection to this other part of yourself and becoming aware of your subconscious beliefs, triggers, influences, okay? And feeling empowered to transform self through them. The energy of regret might be at play for some Scorpios. Why do I keep hearing Libra? I don't know if you're connected to a Libra. I know that I'm talking a lot about Libra placements. Might be relevant for someone out there. Just focus on the color for a minute. This orange represents the sacral, okay? It is also, when I'm looking at the female archetype, the house, I mean, the sacral chakra rules our reproduction for both sexes, okay? But for females, it is the womb. It is how we womb our wounds, all right? The sacral chakra is a powerful chakra to work through when I want to create transformation, because it is the chakra that rules creativity. And if I look at this concept of creativity, it's about creating. What am I wanting to create? Well, sometimes I just want to create change. I need energy to flow. Working with the sacral chakra is powerful, and perhaps for some Scorpios out there might be this dissonance that's experienced, because what you might find there is this regret energy or hanging on to the past in some way. The regret card talks about, I know that I cannot change the past. All right, let's take a look. Change and worry. Maybe we are up in our heads about how to truly embrace change or create change from the past. Using both head and heart, okay? So there's something here that wants to be communicated thanks to that throat chakra color coming through there with the blue in the change card. The worry card will always take us up into the higher octaves of our chakra, our higher chakra centers, okay? But in our very man-made ways, we can sort of overthink things. You know, what does science say? The average human uses approximately 10% of the mind, you know? But we take a look at the world and we can sort of ask ourselves, have we amplified and made the most of that 10%? And what's with that other 90%? You know, there are other aspects to self. We don't just have to think about creating change. We can truly use many different levels of self. There's a full circle here for many Scorpios, and it's going to be powerfully symbolic. You need to step forward, okay, and make this investment on some level to truly close this cycle. So that's not going to be relevant for everyone. When it comes to cyclical change, it happens in dribs and drabs. We can take one step forward and 2 steps back, but there's something here of an emergence of the past, okay? There's going to be something that feels like I don't want to invest, okay? That's what I'm intuitively picking up on. There's an offer here, and that could be coming from a person, it could be coming from an individual, an institution, a workplace, whatever. Something practical is offered to you, but you are literally in 2 minds about whether to invest. This is something from the past. It could have been an old dream, an old person, an old idea. What I'm feeling, Scorpio, is there's this very big part of the Scorpio energy that I'm connecting into that desires change. But there's almost like this guilt and a false sense of responsibility to my past. Just got goosebumps. That's what I was trying to push out. Now I feel like crying. In order to truly close cycles, my friend, that's the gift of the Judgment card. We must be willing to surrender, okay, to risk judgment, to risk being criticized, because there's safety in clinging to old roles, old versions of self, the old role I used to play for them, for others. There's something here that wants to be graduated is what I'm feeling. And for many Scorpios, perhaps this time there's been a bigger storyline of really going into the center of your own wisdom. And certainly there's a powerful 6-week portal with the Sun and Mars both in Libra highlighting your 12th house. It's an amazing channel, okay? It's not a flash in the pan. 6 weeks is a long time, and it kicked off mid-September. So we're beginning this now. This is a journey unto self. And if you look at the Hermit card, like I could literally talk forever. Look at his lantern. What's in it? There's a star. Yeah? It's not a candle. It's not a light bulb, obviously, or a kerosene lamp. It is a star. Where has that star fallen? There's something here, because you guys are working with 8th and 12th house. You know, if I think of the stars, the cosmos, my link to my higher self, and all things that, you know, all great ideas eventuate, they come from somewhere. I'm connecting into many Scorpios that are deeply moved by the inspiration and desire for change. Like there's something prompting, guiding you, bringing you forward, but there's this humanness in our emotions and in our thoughts that keep us tied to the past under false senses of responsibility to others. Okay? You must make the investment, and I'll never ever say in my readings you need to do this, okay? But there's something that's relevant for, even for one Scorpio out there. You must choose to make this investment in order to close this cycle, okay? So that's something I wanted to get across, all right? But it might not look like it's enough, and perhaps this is where the overthinking is coming in. I'm trying to plan the next 5 years, 10 years, and what I'm being given is not enough information, not enough proof that it's worth my investment. But there's something here about you really following your guiding light, and not knowing how, why, or what for, but just choosing to invest, okay? Investing in this change, okay? And releasing the confines that we feel that ties us to the past, all right? That was a long, quick read. Hope you got something out of that, Scorpio. Until next week, my friend, have an empowered week and take care.